So while he did welcome a fight with Arman Tsarukyan, Paddy Pimblett has stated publicly that he would prefer a fight with Justin Gaethje. And that's a smart statement. And it makes me support Paddy Pimblett all the more. It is really refreshing to see a fighter that you really like making smart decisions. Fighting Justin Gaethje next is an easier fight than Arman Tsarukyan. I think it is an easier fight for Paddy. I think Arman brings forth challenges both on the feet and on the ground, where I believe Justin Gaethje brings a challenge on the feet. Gaethje's wrestling is good. Don't get me wrong. Gaethje isn't like helpless when it comes to ground game, but against a really smart, sneaky grappler like Paddy, I think Gaethje will struggle a lot on the ground. You know, Paddy will run the risk of getting knocked out against Gaethje because Gaethje does have a lot of power. He's a brawler. He is good on the feet. He's not terrible on the feet. And if Paddy lets Gaethje connect clean on him, Paddy's going to go out. Obviously, Justin Gaethje is a really powerful brawler. Like the punches he throws, a lot of them are just devastatingly powerful. But I think Paddy has enough, especially on the feet, to evade such power. Given his performance against Michael Chandler, that was a beautiful performance, very beautiful. Ended up with him on top of Mike, pounding the hell out of him. Fight-wise, not, get your mind out the gutter. But yeah, I think Paddy has improved, and he's made really huge improvements on the feet. And I think those improvements will shine in a fight against Justin too. Now, I don't think Paddy is going to destroy Justin when it comes to significant strike percentage and output. I think Paddy will absolutely need to get this fight to the ground, and when he does, he'll get a relatively easy victory. I'm not going to say it's like incredibly easy, but I think Paddy is not going to have a hard time finding a good submission attempt, against Justin Gaethje on the ground. And when he finds that, I think it's going to be sneaky, quick, and effective, so much so that he's going to be able to finish Gaethje before the fight goes the full 3 or 5. So I think a fight against Justin Gaethje is a smarter move forward for Paddy, especially since Paddy is close to title contention, and a win against Justin Gaethje will grant him that certified title shot. He would get it beating Arman too, but again, my main point here is that a fight against Justin Gaethje is better than a fight against Arman if you are Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Again, Paddy welcomed a fight against Arman. He even insulted Arman recently, calling him I think a posh boy or something like that, like he usually does. So we could see Paddy Pimblett versus Arman Tsarukyan, but again, that would be a much more dangerous fight for Paddy. And I would even toy with the notion of choosing Arman to win that fight, because again, both fighters in that matchup are extremely gifted and pretty damn well-rounded. I would say Arman is more well-rounded than Paddy is, but again, Paddy's improvements on the feet with his striking are showing, and they are growing at a good rate. He's making really good improvements, and he showed those against Michael Chandler. He had Michael Chandler confused as hell on the back foot, not knowing what was coming next. So yeah, Paddy is getting more and more well-rounded by each day, and that is amazing to hear as a Paddy fan. But regardless of me being a Paddy fan, looking at both of these matchups between Paddy and Arman and Paddy and Gaethje, looking at both of these matchups from an objective standpoint, you got to go with the Gaethje matchup. I could be, this super Paddy fan and tell you that Paddy, clears everybody, but against Arman, I don't know. Arman he's a gifted fighter, man. He's a gifted fighter, an aggressive wrestler, a beautiful striker, and everybody that talks about his striking can't get enough of the axe kicks he throws. They're really well executed. But yeah, Arman is dangerous, man. He's so dangerous that before he pulled out against Islam, a lot of people were saying his fight against Islam was a 50-50 fight. You know, people were getting ready to say this is going to be the hardest fight in Islam Makhachev's career. That's how much respect people were giving Arman Tsarukyan. So I think, Paddy made a wiser decision, wanting to fight Gaethje instead and pushing for a fight against Gaethje, which again, great move for Paddy. I would choose Paddy to win that fight. And if Paddy does win that fight, Paddy's got a red carpet rolled out for him straight to a title shot against whoever is the king at that time, most likely Ilia Topuria. And I'll get this out of the way now. I don't think Paddy beats Ilia. I'm a Paddy fan, but at the end of the day, I also want to come at you guys with objective information. And looking at that objectively, Paddy's going to get knocked out by Ilia. Almost everybody is getting knocked out by Ilia. Only guy that I don't really have getting knocked out by Ilia is Islam. Maybe JDM, but that's a notion that can be toyed with about a year from now. Right now, Paddy made a great decision. I look forward to seeing who he is going to fight. I hope it is Gaethje. If it's not, so be it. He'll have to go through an absolute dogfight with Arman Tsarukyan. But of course, only time can tell. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. I love each and every one of you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Glove knowledge.